And now, ladies and gentlemen, the sound of rap music, the sound of rap music, the sound of rap music.
In conventional recording, you hear a combined sound from a single speaker. But now, with a wonderful new miracle of stereo, two sounds originate simultaneously from a single groove.
Yeah.
And each sound is fed to a separate speaker. Now, just listen.
Look, God, please forgive me for the preceding. Forgive me for just this evening. The deliverance of bereavements gunned them all down. All of my enemies dipped in cement of vicious, unscripted even. I repeat, I meant to repent. I want it all now. All of my money, my mind back, my respect. This shit ain't happened just recent. Decency, disagreement. Yeah, it's all found. In a ballpark of depression, it deepens. Waiting for my blessing to seep in. A way for detectives to creep in. Please, somebody call now. Notify someone that help is just needed. Jeffrey just stepped off the deep and impression didn't increase. Walls of life is fit to fall down. And these drugs, they don't help them. They leave them stuck. The deception is frequent. Fuck, there's no definite reason, but we all bound to damn near lose it every once and again. Become the monster that's in our soul hibernating. And I'd have been and done it. And you've been warned. And I've been trying to keep my cool. But if you understood how long that I've been waiting, you know I'm Superserious, ho. Okay. Let's get started on the podcast today. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is tapes, cassette tapes, CDs, and the phonograph record. Why didn't you call it vinyl? More on that later, my friend. But yeah, this is a subject near and dear to my heart, man. I'm from that era of the tapes, the records, and the CDs. And it's a very, very large number of people that feel the same way about these things. So I'm just going to run through a few things, man. Starting out, I thought it would only be right if we start off today with the Wikipedia definition of the phonograph record. Go ahead. I'll give you time to get to this definition on your Wikipedia. Read along with me. A phonograph disc record, also known as a gramophone disc record, shout out to Gramophone in Chicago. That's not on the paper, buddy. Especially in British English, or simply a phonograph record, gramophone record, disc record, or record. Okay. This is the definition right here. It gets kind of descriptive, so you might want to tuck in your pocket protector right now. This is how they describe a record. This should be on a fucking t-shirt. I shouldn't have said that. Check it out. It says, this is how they describe a record. It is an analog sound storage medium in the form of a flat... Okay, let me say that again. It is an analog sound storage medium in the form of a flat disc with an inscribed modulated spiral groove. The groove usually starts near the periphery and ends near the center of the disc. That's dope. At first, the discs were... Okay, I can hear myself saying the word discs. You try to say that shit. I got some big ass teeth. Starting in the 1940s, polyvinyl chloride became common. Hence, the name vinyl. In the mid-2000s, gradually, records made of any material began to be called vinyl disc records, also known as vinyl records, or vinyl for short. Okay. So, polyvinyl chloride is the word I'd like to go back to. Very good word. It's pretty good. It's basically PVC. So this is what we flip to. It's two different types of PVC, by the way, for all of you experts out there who think you can Google faster than me. The rigid form of PVC is used in construction for pipes and profile applications. Wait, let me say that again. The rigid form of PVC is used in construction for pipe and in profile applications such as doors and windows. Why I look like that while I was saying that. Okay. It is also used in making bottles, non-food packaging, food covering sheets, and cards, such as bank or membership cards. Okay. And then they say it can be made softer or more flexible by adding plasticizers. Wow, that's a great word. The most widely used being phthalates. Is spelled PHTHALATES if you're nasty.
Phthalate.
And then in this form, it is also used in plumbing, electrical cable insulation, imitation leather, flooring, signage, and you guessed it, buddy, phonograph records. And then inflatable products and so on. But yeah, man, this is dope. I didn't know that. And okay. Yeah, so that's funny, man. They say they was made out of shellac at first, and it was hard for the transportation and handling of the motherfuckers. So I believe it was like having your music pressed onto a lightly toasted corn tortilla is probably how DJs would describe it. But yeah, right now, let's get into some music. This is the song of the week. This is a special song of the week. I actually bumped somebody else just to put this as the song of the week. This is my boy DAWRECK from Triple Darkness. Of course, my group mate in Scattered Bodies. 10 years ago, him and the legendary TRAXSTER released an album, and this was one of the songs on there called Rock Music. Recently, it has went viral on TikTok, so it's probably 4.9 trillion different people doing videos with this song in the background. So I have to show my homies some love, and I want to encourage everybody out there, if you own TikTok, type in DAWRECK, DAWRECK, rock music, and enjoy yourself, my friend. So here we go. The song of the week, my boy DAWRECK of Triple Darkness, Rock Music. And we are back again. Yes, we are. Please do not argue with me, sir and ma'am. Listen, so we started off talking about the phonograph record, aka vinyl, and it would only be right if we go into the Wikipedia definition of the compact disc. Here we go. The compact disc is a digital optical disc data storage format that was co-developed by Philips and Sony to store and play digital audio recordings. It was released in 1982, branded as Digital Audio Compact Disc. And then a little sidebar paragraph that says, the readable surface of a compact disc includes a spiral track wound tightly enough to cause light to diffract into full visible spectrum. I just thought that was very descriptive. Developed by Philips and Sony. As we said, the format was later adapted for storage of data, and they have CD-ROM in parentheses. Several other formats were further derived from these, including write-once audio and data storage, CDR in parentheses. rewritable media, CD-RW, in parentheses, video CD, super video CD, picture CD, compact disc, interactive, and enhanced music CD. Oh man, the enhanced CD, that was the shit. You know, you may get a whole documentary, movie, a video. That's when I was like, okay, now you can't scare me with a good time, whoever y'all are making this shit. But yeah, CDRs, man, that's when the game changed. That's when we was able to run to somewhere and buy blank CDRs and burn our own shit, you know, if you had a CD burner. Or you get an option when you do go to the pressing plant, because what you have is replicated CDs, which is what like standard real CDs should be. And then you got CDRs. You can, you know what I mean? Companies will give you that option as well at a lower price. Like replicated CDs, you getting, you know, it's silver on the back, silver. And then CDRs had more of a greenish tint to it. So back in the day, that was important. I was like, man, this ain't even no real motherfucking CD, Joe. I mean, that was my petty ass, because I was like the only motherfucker that was paying attention and shit like that. And then, you know, CDs just became like the wave, man. I remember when I first got a CD, I felt like George goddamn Jetson. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I am never ever gonna be the same again. Yeah, but back to the definition. It says, at the time of the technology's introduction in 1982, a CD could store much more data than a personal computer hard disk drive is what it says, actually. I read that backwards. At the time of the technology's introduction in 1982, a CD could store much more data than a personal computer hard disk drive, which would typically hold 10 megabytes. By 2010, hard drives commonly of why am I trying to read the word offered? My mind says offered. Okay. By 2010, hard drives commonly offered as much storage space as 1,000 CDs, while their prices had plummeted to commodity level. In 2004, worldwide sales of audio CDs, CD-ROMs, and CDRs reached about 30 billion discs. By 2007, 200 billion discs has been sold worldwide. Wow. And the big difference was because I'm coming from an artist perspective as well as a fan, you know, so it was the combination of getting all of my favorites music on CD, but also having my music on CD and learning how to go and get my own shit pressed, you know, and that just birthed the independent game for me, especially during the CD era. I had a chance to press up cassette tapes as well, and when the CDs came, I was like, boys, on like a motherfucking chicken bone. And it was, I swear to God. And shout out to everybody that still got a Psychodrama greatest hits CD or any of our CDs to this day. You know, it was a whole fucking thing. I used to literally sit in my room and make CD covers and buy that ink for that Epson printer, and it got like that, you know. But the hustle is real, man, and you know, so I appreciate CDs a lot. The compact disc is pretty awesome, man, and I'm very grateful for for that. And if you do get a chance, man, I encourage all the artists out there, man, go get your shit pressed on CD and listen to it. Listen to the difference. You know what I'm saying? And you be the judge. But I guarantee you, man, you'll get a nice crispy sound, and it's just something to have, man, physically in your possession. And you know, you can't sign a link, motherfucker, or MP3. You can't sign that. You feel me? So, man, let's get into some music right now. I feel like we need a break, and we're gonna come back on the other side with the cassette tape. So let's clean these speakers, because I know you was listening to that bullshit earlier. Don't you dare lie. Here we go. Turn it up. Yeah. And we are back again. Yes, this is true too. We are. Look.
It's time.
So I want to end this off tonight. We're going to run into the Wikipedia definition of the cassette tape. Prepare yourself, ladies and gentlemen. The compact cassette or music cassette, also commonly known, wait, it doesn't say that at all. The compact cassette or music cassette, also commonly called the tape cassette, cassette tape, audio cassette, or simply tape or cassette. They should have put the word simply before, or never mind. It is an analog magnetic tape recording format for audio recording and playback. It was developed by Philips in Cassette, Belgium. Probably mispronounced that. Sorry, Belgium.
Hassle.
And introduced in September 1963. The compact cassettes come in two forms, either already containing content as a pre-recorded cassette, music cassette in parentheses, or as fully recordable blank cassette. Both forms are reversible by the user. This is true. The compact cassette technology was originally designed for dictation machines, but improvements in fidelity led the compact cassette to supplant the stereo 8-track cartridge and reel-to-reel tape recording in most non-professional applications. Shout out to the word supplant. That's a great word. Its uses ranged from portable audio to home recording to data storage for early microcomputers. The first cassette player, although mono, they put that in parentheses, it must be important, designed for use in car dashboards, was introduced in 1968. From the early 1970s to mid-2000s, the cassette was one of the two most common formats for pre-recorded music. First, alongside the LP record, and later, the compact disc. Compact cassettes contain two miniature spools, between which the magnetically coated polyester type plastic film, magnetic tape in parentheses, is passed and wound. These spools and their attendant parts are held inside by protective plastic shell, which is 4 by 2.5 by 0.5 inches. I'm not going to read all of those fucking numbers, buddy. At its largest dimensions, no, that was actually the end of that sentence I was supposed to say. At its largest dimensions, but fuck all of that. The tape itself is commonly referred to as 8-inch tape, supposedly 1/8 of an inch wide, but it is slightly larger. Okay. And then it goes on to say other things that are important that I'm not going to read. And then it ends by saying, Let's see what it says. Consumer use of magnetic tape machines took off in the early 1960s after playback machines reached a comfortable, user-friendly design. This was aided by the introduction of translators. I need my glasses. I still haven't took my prescription in the Walmart. Okay. This was aided by the introduction of transistors, which replaced the bulky, fragile, and costly vacuum tubes of earlier designs. Reel-to-reel tape then became more suitable for household use, but still remained an esoteric product. And that's a great word, esoteric. But yeah, man, Philips, thank you guys for creating the tape. Although the birth and growth of the cassette began in the 1960s, its cultural movement took place during the 1970s and 80s. How come I can't say that together? Although the birth and growth of the cassette began in the 1960s, its cultural movement took place during the 1970s and 1980s. The cassette's popularity grew during these years as a result of being more effective. Wait, it doesn't say that at all. The cassette's popularity grew during these years as a result of being a more effective, convenient, and portable way of listening to music. Stereo tape decks and boom boxes became some of the most highly sought-after consumer products of both decades. Portable pocket recorders and high-fidelity players, hi-fi in parentheses, such as Sony's Walkman, 1979, also enabled users to take their music with them anywhere with ease. The increasing user-friendliness of the cassette led to its popularity around the globe. Yeah, so you get it. Man, I love tapes. When I first got tapes, I remember borrowed my brother's tapes. He had everybody. Kumo D, LL, man, Big Daddy Kane, man, NWA. I mean, tapes. Straight up tapes, man. And peeling the plastic off them motherfuckers and just listening and, you know, fast forwarding, and oh man, you could fuck a tape up too real easy. That shit come out the bottom, boy, be looking like a straight spider web in that motherfucker. And trying to fix the tape. Oh yeah, niggas got surgical with it and everything. Get a little piece of scotch tape and try to, you know, glue that very little bitty section together. But it was the same idea with reel-to-reel and shit like that. I remember my first recording was on reel-to-reel tape. Shout out to Hair Bear Studios in Chicago. I think his name was also Jeff. So shout out to Hair Bear. I got to see people in action doing that, and that's incredible. It's like they were physically touching the equipment with sharp objects and shit. And recordings were being put together. That shit was incredible. So shout out to all the DJs, man, that has had the chance to handle these different records, tapes, and CDs. Chicago is a mecca, home of some of the most legendary record stores ever. Shout out to George Daniels and George's Music Room. Shout out to my family over there at Barney's. Shout out to E.C. Illa for the Tip Record Store, Dr. Wax, Flame James. Man, there's so many motherfuckers, man. All the flea markets. I love Chicago. But also in them days, man, like I said about CDs, I also got the chance to have an opportunity to press tapes. So I got both perspectives, being able to get my favorites, get all of their music on tape, but also be able to press my stuff on tape. And it was the most incredible thing ever, showing my family and, you know, being in the hood with a tape out. Nigga, fuck you. You feel me? I was a shorty too. You know, as an original member of Do or Die, I used to get to, you know, run around with them guys and No Love, was the first official tape that ever came out that I was on. And man, it was the greatest experience in the world to see my name on there, just to know, you know, everybody got this, and it was cool, man. So shout out to everybody that know what that feeling is like. And I encourage everybody, like I said before, if you get a chance, get your shit pressed to CD or tape or vinyl, and just experience it in that format. And you know, ask your family. And this also lends to what I was speaking on earlier, is that this will help explain why, you know, our generation, we love our music so much, because of all the effort it took for us to get this music. You know, sometimes we waited weeks, months, or years for a project to come out, you know, that was promoted through a magazine or a night talk show or word of mouth. You know, it was more grassroots marketing back then. So, you know, you saw a sticker or you saw a bench with a motherfucking album finna come out in 2-3 months. And you waited, and then you took a bus to get that motherfucker, you know? And it was great, man. So, you know, that's the conversation that I wanted to lend to. You know, the reason that your uncle loved that song so much, and he keep telling you, you don't know nothing about this, you motherfucker, is because he had to take 2 buses and a fucking train to go get that song when it came out 30 years ago. So we don't care that you could look it up in 3 seconds. You know how much shit motherfuckers had to go through to get that motherfucking song. And that's why we appreciate our artists as well. Ain't no moving on from our artists, man. We love every song. We don't give a fuck if you don't care about the drums in that song. You feel me? You know, you gotta appreciate real instruments, real people doing the music. It was a lot of plugs and goddamn chords and shit going on making music back in those days. So, you know, I appreciate it, and I appreciate the people that make it move. So shout out to all the fans, all the artists that, you know what that feeling is like, and all the people with an open mind that's willing to take the chance and jump into some of this, quote, retro shit, you know what I'm saying? And buy a fucking Atari while you at it, man, and play Pitfall, and stop talking shit. Play pole position or something, shut up. But yeah, man, I appreciate all those mediums. So as a fan and as an artist, I got a chance to see both sides, and I appreciate it so much, man. Kind of jumping through everything from 8-tracks to reel to MP3s to cassettes to CDs, and man, everything in between. The floppy disk, you know, music has been everywhere, and now we streaming and shit like that, you know. I remember as an artist, man, in school at the time, shout out to MSB, Minnesota School of Business. I took a music business audio production class, and shout out to Bard Meyer, musical genius, who was my teacher during them years and mentor during them years. He showed me a lot. I learned a lot. I remember one day he gave me a worksheet that was speaking about a service that will change the music industry coming from overseas. That service happened to be called Spotify. And I was looking at it on this paper, and I'm like, okay. So, you know what I mean? Because we were still healing from all of those Napster wounds. And this was kind of, they, you know, found a way to regulate listening, you know, through the sharing of streaming and MP3s and waves. You know, it was this world being monetized, you know, by a big company. So I was just like, oh, okay. But the idea that it would be what it is now, it's incredible. But, you know, we lost a lot in that fire, I know for sure. And a lot of artists would agree with this, that it's the intimacy of the in stores and physically looking at the music and reading what that artist wrote, what shout outs that he gave to who, what the record label address is, and these extra pictures and shit like that, that, you know, you can pass around and look at. And like I said earlier, you can't sign a fucking MP3 or a like or a link. You feel me? That shit ain't nothing, man. People will be like, yeah, I listen to your album. You like the post that I said my album was coming out on, motherfucker. You ain't listen to my album. You feel me? And that's how a lot of artists feel these days, because that accessibility is what is contributing to the disconnect between the artists and the fans. People look at, shit and feel like, yep, motherfuckers sweep their hands at this shit like, yep. So, yep, listen to that album. No, you click the picture that I said my album is at this link in my bio. A lot of people don't just click the link in the bio because I got to go to your page and look for, hit more. You feel me? It's the dumb shit in the world. And it's all good, though. But the disconnect is related to the idea that I feel like we moved on too fast from physical elements of our music, man. We moved the fuck on too fast. A lot of people just kind of threw the whole thing in the garbage. Man, motherfuckers CDs, man. Motherfuckers don't play CDs no more. Niggas talk themselves out of CD players and things that play music physically. Even the, using real 12s to DJ. A lot of niggas, tripped out and went all Serato. But that's cool too. You could do Serato. That doesn't make you less of a DJ. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't pay no respect to the real, the vinyl, the phonograph record, the techniques, and what it feel like to hear that needle hit the record and preview that music, that's a whole world in itself, man, that you should experience as an artist, as a music artist, as a person that works with sound. You know what I mean? So don't miss that is my goal of this whole episode. I just want people to get a chance to know, man, So like I said earlier, get your shit pressed up and see what it sound like. You'll see the difference. I can remember back in the day when it became an opportunity to take a whole radio, turn that motherfucker towards another radio and press record like a fool. And we did that repeatedly. And you know what I'm saying? It was like that type of love, the idea of leaving voicemails. You know what I'm saying? All type of shit related to tapes, man. When we got tapes, we made mixtapes, and they got the double cassette decks where you can record one tape onto another tape and shit like that. So sharing it and trying to, the accessibility, we come back to that conversation, the accessibility conversation. So that was just such a feeling that you can't explain, man. But ask your mama, ask your auntie and uncle and your daddy, and they'll tell you, motherfuckers, we really were dedicated to that. But I think that's the biggest thing that can kind of explain why we love our music so much, because we put in a lot of effort to get to it and really appreciate it. So I encourage artists, man, while you do have the opportunity to listen to an MP3 or stream it on Spotify, if you are in the store, Target, Walmart, whoever still sells physical items, man, buy that same artist, buy that CD. It may be some information in there that you may not have, but that's a dope picture too. And you supporting the artist for real, you know what I'm saying, beyond clicking and liking and shit. And the main point I always wanted to speak about as well is they remove these things, and I'm sure there's some sort of environmental benefit of removing all of this plastic. So that is not lost upon me. This is just a show about the love of these physical mediums. So, shout out to the environmentalists that have counted how much the removal of these plastics and different products from our environment has benefited us. So shout out to you too, ma'am or sir. But back to the love of these things that fuck up the environment, I guess. So I used to, I could remember going back and forth to the record stores back in the day, man. I would wake up and hit every record store in Chicago. I couldn't even tell you, man. My list was stupid, though. I'll start at George's Music Room, go to Barney's, and I'll be in Waukegan at Play by Play and Gardner's, and then in Indiana out there with Yarbrough and my family at Turn It Up and everybody, man. It was so many record stores. Ruben out at the Bomb out in Indy, and that was a regular day for me, but it definitely lent a blessing to each other. We were supporting black businesses and you know, small businesses back in the day, and we were a small business as well as artists. We got a chance to really move our product and see the logistics of it in its totality, getting a chance to build these different relationships with store owners and other entrepreneurs. It was a lot of people that we got a chance to connect with just by having these physical elements. So I encourage every artist also to create your merch table, create your online store and your online presence for your physical items. Get your CDs pressed up. People still buy them, man, and it's a good connection when you can sign a CD, sign a t-shirt, a hat, a cup, and you know, a fan gets a chance to keep those things. Those are keepsakes that real true fans, they appreciate those types of things. So I encourage everybody to put some exercise to your merch game and step it up and let people really get a chance to experience what you're about, man. So if you're a good artist, man, you draw good, man, make some dope shit, man. Use your own shit. And the Secretary of State is in every fucking state. You know, if you live in a state, there's a secretary there, and they're called the Secretary of State. And you go there and just say the word business, and they'll start pointing places, and you'll get there. So register your shit, make an LLC, get a tax ID number, create your business. You are your business, and mind your fucking business. So that's how we're going to end it today, man. So I want to say keep going. The resource of the week is Quality Logo Products out in Aurora, Illinois. This is my favorite promotional company. They make everything and anything. I am not getting paid for this ad. I just love them that much. And please go there and buy everything. You will not be sorry. You will, in fact, be happy. I guarantee that one. Okay, so I'm going to end this off by encouraging everybody to keep writing, keep making beats, keep being cool, man. Mind your business, keep your business on your mind, and keep going. Good night. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the sound of